For this exercise, it's recommended that you make a copy of the original LAS files and put it in your working folder. Open a new LP360 project and add the copied LAS layer and a background Bing aerial map as a WMS. Verify your project settings. I have a new working folder and I've got the correct reference system. And I'm going to save this now. I've changed my draw type to tin and my legend to classification using all points. Next, I'm going to create a new feature layer for my water bodies that I intend to digitize. So I'll click Create New Feature Layer. I'll give it the path of my working folder. The layer name, 0320 Water Bodies. Geometry type will be 3D polygon. And I'm going to set the coordinate system to the project coordinate system, which is here by default. Next, I'll make my new shape the active layer in the Feature Edit toolbar. And I'm going to now open the Schema Editor dialog to add a field. I'll click the Add New Field button. I'll give it the name Water Type. It will be text, and I'll allow 50 characters. I'm going to change my display to ground only. I'm going to change my legend to a grayscale monochrome hillshade. I find it's really easy to see the texture of the surface with this kind of a legend. And my draw type is still tin. Next, I'm going to create a new point cloud task to apply conflation as I'm digitizing. The task type conflation, I'm going to call it 0320 summarize min z. My input geometry is going to be the tool geometry. In other words, as I digitize, I'm going to be creating the geometry for conflation. The LAS layer is, of course, the active LAS layer. For my output data set, I'm going to create a file in my project folder, and I'm going to call it 0320 min z waterbodies.shape. In this case, I'm going to make the output mode append so that I can execute this point cloud task over and over again and keep adding to the shapefile. And I'm going to leave Add to Map selected. For source points, I'll use ground, water, and buffered ground. We still haven't really explained what the buffer ground class is, but you will understand that by the end of this lesson. Types at this point will be all types. Conflation method will be summarize z. I want to use summarize z to create the same type of flat surface that I created when I converted 2D to 3D shape. So I'll use create flat surface with minimum z. I'll use the spatial relationship again completely within, and no data values will be set to a default -9999. I have no break lines currently to enforce, so I will leave break line enforcement unchecked. My output file I've already established, and I want to copy the attributes from input to output. So at this point, I'm ready to apply to save. In order to demonstrate digitizing 3D polygons, I'm going to concentrate on this small lake in Shelby Park in the northwest corner of the project area. For the moment, we'll ignore the little island in the lake, but we'll come back to look at that later on. Here's what the LAS layer looks like in hillshade view without break line enforcement. I've also added the 2D to 3D water body shapefile that we made in the last lesson. And I'm going to just apply break line enforcement using that layer so we can see what it looks like. All right, so we clearly see the flat lake and the small island. Now set the active feature layer to the new shapefile. And in the Feature Edit Options dialog, we're going to assign our new point cloud task to the Auto Z tab in the Feature Edit Options. I'm also going to click the option here to enable Auto Z surface mode. And now I'm ready to add a feature. I'm also going to open the Feature Analyst window so I can see each feature as I add it. Okay, so I'm going to select the Create Feature button, and I'm just going to digitize a small area in the open lake here as a demonstration. I'm going to avoid that island for the moment. Okay, I can digitize and double-click to save. If I go to the Features tab, I see that it's been added, and I'm going to add the field water type pond lake. And now I'm going to save my edits. Alright, let's change our display to elevation. And this is already pretty flat, so it's not going to be a remarkable difference, but I'm going to go to the display properties, break line enforcement, select my new shapefile, do my settings. I want to use buffer, let's see, 9, 10, and 11, and apply. This is by no means an extensive demonstration, but it should at least get you started. You can always refer to the LP360 training manual if you want to go through some additional exercises in detail. And also you might want to, if you have time, experiment with performing the same tasks in the LP360 for ArcGIS extension. It's a similar concept, just slightly different interface.